What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Signs of Life. Good morning, good day, or good evening to you. Sticky Rice, the Cube, Sounds of Snow, Waveform, Sleep Twitch, the legendary Dash Glitch, IO Flow, and Deep Sub. What's up, my boys? We are all in the house today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm stoked to be here. What a week it has been, huh? Last week, we saw the release of Anomaly 2 for Vital. Very exciting. And then this past Sunday, I threw down on some Starterra. So we had a brand new release from Starterra. I was super excited about that. We had a great listening party on Bandcamp. I was just like overwhelmed with the appreciation and the love that you guys showed me. So thank you all, those of you who made it out. If you haven't checked out the record yet, it's on Exosphere. It's called Transformation Cycles, and I love it. It's a great album. So thank you guys so much for being here. Truly appreciate it. Check it out. I got coasters, brah. I can't show you this. I can show it to you blurry, but this is an official Sinfera coaster. Y'all talking about NFTs. I'm making coasters, man. So I got two of them. Look, these are the samples. I got Celestial and I got Transformation Cycles. How dope is that? This is real ceramic. So I think we're gonna put these on sale. We put them up on our Bandcamp community pages, and people were like, yeah, hell yeah, I want that. And I'll tell you what, they're solid, man. This is real stone. You know, oh my God, I didn't even think of that. You could totally tile your bathroom with it. That's so dope. You can have the Sinfera and Exosphere shower. What we're gonna do is we're gonna offer all of them for sale. So if you guys like any of the cover art that was made by multiple different artists, Don Tyler included, Michael Karts, Sten Beckman, I mean, any of these guys, really talented artists, you guys are gonna be able to order those in coaster form. Get yourself some coasters. Anyway, I am here, we are here to talk about sound design. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. And before we start, I have to mention, I bring you this information out of the love of what I do and out of the goodness of my heart. So if you guys like this kind of video, please consider joining me on Patreon. I do classes like this on Patreon every single month. You guys can grab a whole bunch of loot that's already there. And the Patreon is a great way to support me as an independent artist and creator, and helping me reach my goal of becoming a full-time ambient music and content creator. So check it out, links down below, patreon.com/signsoflife, and join me. It's a great way to support me, man. And you know, that I can keep doing what I'm doing, and we can keep this kind of thing going, and on we go into the age. So y'all ready to talk about sound design? Y'all ready? I think sound design to me is the fundamental foundation of what we do here. Because when you think about it, how do you create the sounds that you're hearing right now? How do you create the sounds that you want to hear and the music that you like? It all starts in the sound design phase. So I find myself spending the most time doing sound design, talking about sound design. It's become like, it's the way of the business, right? We talk about sound design on the Discord. It's just like, you know, it's really important. Now, with beginning ambient producers, a lot of the times they approach ambient like, I really want to make this kind of music, but they don't know how to actually get to that point where they're like, I'm making the music that I really want to hear, that sound. Well, it starts in the sound design phase, and if you spend a lot of time in that phase of just like plunking around for like months making sounds, then eventually you're going to really become a better sound designer. And you're becoming a better artist because you have sounds to pull from. You understand the fundamentals of synthesis. That's really important. So, you ready? Let's talk about this. Sound design 101. All right. So, you guys can feel free to screenshot this, whatever, but I just ask you to, if you have some Master Ducats laying around. If you really like what I do, consider joining me on Patreon. It would mean a lot to me, and we can move forward into the age of Aquarius together. This is the dawning of the age, my friends. And all right, so let's talk about this. 3 tips for ambient sound design. Now, this goes for sound design in general. I know a lot of people like Dash are here, or like they make all kinds of different kinds of music, but this is specifically for ambient music. And these master classes that I bring you come from conversations that I have with other sound designers, things that I've learned along the way, just little tips and tricks. Right? So let's talk about this. Designing your own sounds from scratch is often one of the most daunting tasks for anyone getting into ambient music production. All right? However, the process can be simplified and your workflow can become much easier once you build a solid sound library to pull from. So if you make 20 different presets yourself, then you have 20 different sounds to work with, and that could be the whole record right there. All right? So if you just spend a little bit more time in the sound design phase, then making albums becomes that much easier. Don't be afraid to use existing presets as guidelines. I did this a lot growing up. Well, I say growing up, I mean getting into the game. It was like, I took Luftrum's presets and I'm like, how did he do that? And I still didn't understand it. Then I thought about the individual elements. What does it mean when an LFO affects, I don't know, wavetable position? Or what does it mean to have velocity affect, the timbre of the sound? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these little things I started, and all these little functions and everything about sound design that comes with a synthesizer. If you understand each fundamental part, if you look at a mod matrix and you go, I understand all this, you're on the right track, okay? But if you don't know what something means, look it up. You got manuals, you got videos, you got me, you got all these different resources and outlets, okay? So find a preset that you like, look at the mod matrix, and if it looks like calculus, learn it. If it doesn't, good. Because there was a time in my life when I looked at a mod matrix, I go, I don't know half of this stuff. What the hell is EXP and blah, 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 and LFO1 and blah, I didn't know that, right? So anyway, to some of you, that's basic. To some of you, it might be like, okay, maybe I really got to do more homework, all right? Many of the techniques that I use in my daily sound design have become learned by other preset designers and or conversations with others in the field. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. All right, so let's talk about tip number 1, keeping things simple, starting with one oscillator and go from there. This is kind of important because nowadays, with the computer power that we have, with the synthesizers that we have, with all the tools and resources that we have at our disposal, you got a million oscillators sometimes. Serum, you got 3. Vital, you got 3, maybe 4. I mean, if you count the noise oscillator, it's 4. If you count, you know what I'm saying? With Dune, I read on the Dune page, you can have up to 5,096 oscillators, some crazy number like that. Because if you think about all the unison, that's a separate oscillator. So you think about 2 times 36 times 8 layers, blah, 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 times the amount of polyphony that can have, up to 5,000, what the hell are you gonna do with 5,000 oscillators? You know what I'm saying though, right? You have a lot at your disposal, okay? If you find yourself not getting the results that you're looking for, simplify your intent and just use one oscillator in polyphonic and see how far you can get with this. So one oscillator does not mean monophonic. One oscillator in polyphonic can be sometimes all that you need to get the sound that you're trying to create. And I mean this because some of the best patches that I've heard have only used one oscillator. Echo season, okay? Like, seriously, like some of the best patches I've ever heard have only used one oscillator, all right? We often build a delusion in our minds that more is more, okay? That comes for gear, that comes for whatever it is. More is more, that's an illusion sometimes, okay? Just because you can have 3, 4, up to 12 oscillators, say in Hyperion or Dune 3, doesn't mean you should use them all right? Some of the best patches I've heard are only using only one. So if you stack your pads to create complexity, you're doing the right thing, because then you have a process of removal. If you go the other way around and you make a complex patch, there's no real room for anything else to come up, right? Yeah, Dash said the 101 and the 303 are some of the best hits because they only have one oscillator. Right? Okay? So the way you do this, the way you really work one oscillator, okay, is really work on those filter envelopes to find the right timbre for your sound. Filter envelopes are everything. When you really, because sometimes the filter envelope is driving the sound, sometimes it's the amp envelope. So if you find the right, because a filter envelope could cut the sound completely and then bring it up, and that acts as an amp envelope almost, right? So finding the right timbre for your sound is really all about the filter envelope, if you think about it. Unless you're doing some sound effect stuff. But if you really work that filter, some filters are good, some filters are not good. Some filters have the right, a certain resonant quality to them, right? It's almost like you can tell. You know what I mean? You can tell when a filter's got that, When I open Serum and I start like just hitting the filter, I go, pfft, that's a good digital filter. Oh my God, that's a good digital filter. You know. More often than not, the right filter combined with the perfect envelope shape is all that you need. Envelope shape, okay? We have the ability now to draw our envelopes and visual and stuff, and believe me, I'm a total visual person. Right, exactly, Waveform. So let me just say this. Waveform had a good point. I had to do a double take with some of the patches on Proximity Report. Single oscillator, sometimes with no effects. No effects. And that brings me to my next point. Saving the effects for last. Your patch/sound design should sound good with no effects applied, even down to the mixing stage. Okay? This is a really hard level to reach. This is like becoming a master chef. Okay? Master chefs should be able to create any dish with any ingredient. I mean, within reason. You know what I'm saying? Like there's often the topic, like, can a really good master chef create good vegan food? And anybody who's really skilled at what they do go, oh hell yeah. You want a vegan ceviche salad? I'll make you one right now. Boom. You want a good vegan chicken pot pie? I got you. Boom. Right? A good chef can do anything because they've mastered their ingredients, they've mastered their techniques, and they're at the highest level. Now, with sound design, and when you are creating sounds, sometimes we throw Supermassive on it, we call it a day. It's like, oh, okay, that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? Because when you put a filter into Supermassive, it's like, all right? So learn to create sounds raw, and then eventually that sound will, that whole design will start to build up. Because if you think about it, when we really create sounds from scratch, what we're doing is we're saying this is the tone, and then the effects are like icing on the cake. I mean, because you could go really minimal with it, and the more minimal you go with it, the more good your sound quality actually is. What are you talking about? Oh, Siri's talking to me. So if you do something that is pure, then if you add effects on top of that, it's gonna sound even better. Because it's raw, it sounds good with no effects. And then when you add something on top, it's like, ooh, that's like icing. So if you have a good, pure sound underneath it all, the effects are just gonna be like the sweet spot on the top. They're gonna be the sugar on top, okay? That's all it is. So if you really think about that in a holistic sense, you can shape it exactly how you want to, right? From the ground up. From the ground up. If you want to sound like Ascendant, you can do that from the ground up. You want to sound like Echo Season, you can do it from the ground up, okay? But you got to get there with now this is just for sound design. The sequencing and that's a whole different topic for a whole different day, okay? So I just want to make this point clear is that start designing your sounds. If it sounds good with no Supermassive, if it sounds good with no Valhalla, if it sounds good with no anything, cool, good. If you need a little bit of that stuff to taste just to get your mind there, because I do this all the time. I put a little reverb on it just to be like, okay, how's this gonna sound in the end? All right, done. And I'll take it off, or I'll leave it there, and I'll just, you know what I'm saying? Like, interplay with this. Imagine yourself getting there with no effects. I've made my point. Now, all of this is to really help you start designing stuff from scratch, because you could get there. Like Don and I had a talk a couple days ago about, like, because I was making some stuff on the Hydrosynth, and but I love Supermassive. I know. We all love Supermassive. Supermassive, I mean, there have been a couple really good, like legendary bomb drops in the world of free music software. Vital has been one of them. Supermassive has been another. Audio Damage just laid down a huge gauntlet and said, here's all of our legacy plugins for free. Like, those in my mind are some, and Reaper is arguably one of them, but I mean, Reaper, they keep asking you, I don't know, I've never used Reaper, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's some really good free plugins that have come out in the past 5 years that could be exactly all that you need, and you can do anything. I had somebody in my sign circle yesterday. So we have the monthly meetup, right? And he's like, I did this all in Vital. And I was like, you did this all in Vital? Like, Barang just shook me. I was like, dude, wow. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I made this all, and you know, that's if you hear something that's that good and all you need is a free synthesizer, boom. The first thing I do when I open Thinkley is load Vital and Supermassive. Oh my goodness. I mean, hey, listen, like I said, if it takes you there, if it gets you in the mood, then that's another artistic, like, X factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do this, I mean, listen, I'm listening to this track right here. This is Valhalla Room all over it. That's what we're listening to. You know what I'm saying? Let's just listen to the individual elements. That's Hive. That's Hive with Room. Filters moving. This is a super basic patch, but it gets the job done. Okay. Subtle wavetable movement. Nothing much. Little velocity action. We'll get to that in a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing. But when you think about it in context, this sounds really good. Okay? All right, cool. We move right along. I love what you guys are adding. This is fun. This is what makes masterclasses so fun, is you guys' participation. All right, so using real-world samples in an otherworldly context. Now, this goes specifically for sound design. One of the best ways to create organic textures from audio is from audio samples and/or high-quality samples to use in an otherworldly context. Now, this is not like a shout-out or anything. This is just like, I'm just telling you what I do. I downloaded Marcel's free-to-use sounds library at like 280 sound sets, and it was like $12 or something. And now I looked at it today before this video started, it's almost double that, okay? What is free-to-use sounds? Hey, if you don't know, now you know. It's not a plug, but I'm just saying, this guy is offering some of the most high-quality, free-to-use, royalty-free sounds on the planet for literally free. And a lot of his libraries are paid of what you want. So if you want to just make life easy, you just download the whole thing and follow the instructions. Or wait till a sale comes up and it's like almost literally free. But like, you could use these sounds and do whatever you want with them, okay? So using high quality samples, he uses the best recording equipment in the world. And he goes all over the world with his wife, and they just do all this kind of crazy stuff. Now, if you take those sounds, I use them a lot in Starterra, like underwater hydrophone stuff, or I'll use like, I don't know, like, you know, foresty stuff, moving through the forest, like, and then I stretch it and I somehow mangle it. Maybe I'll put it through Paul Stretch, right? And the other day on Patreon, I provided all my Patreons with this cool loot drop of like 18 electricity sound effects that I made using the crackle from a vinyl distortion inside of Ableton. And I did like the of a vinyl crackle, like a pop. And then I put it into Quanta, and I zeroed in on one of those crackles, and that one pop can become electricity, and you move the frickin' thing around, and then and you're playing with frickin' a lightsaber. Okay? So think about that. The most basic of sounds. I drop a cable on the table. You can make that into a pad, or whatever. Doesn't have to be anything special. Keys. Through Supermassive, that could be hauntingly beautiful. Free to use sounds. So Luftrum talks about found sounds a lot. That would be what I consider found sounds. Okay? But getting an audio recorder is cheap. You can just get like one of these. Pretty inexpensive. Okay? Get yourself one of these. And go on a trip. Or go out for the weekend. Free to use sounds, yeah. Like I said, it's not a plug. I'm just telling you it's easy these days to get really high quality stuff. Richard Devine. No, it's Marcel. But yeah, Marcel from Free to Use Sounds. He's cool, man. All right. So that would be one way. Okay, you can also put it in. We've been talking about on the Discord like Pad Shop. We've been talking about Quanta. We've been talking about the Granulator too. But yeah, thinking about how much really good, high quality, 24-bit free sounds are out there. All you need is a sampler, or all you need is a granular synth, and you got it. Record the chair squeaking, exactly. that could be a timbre all its own, you know what I'm saying? It could be really haunting through Supermassive, all right? This became a Supermassive tutorial, I can see, all right? So that's all I'll say about that, because I do it all the time. And like I said, I just took a vinyl crackle thing, and I was making impacts the other day. I was making some really cool sci-fi impacts. I'm not gonna embarrass myself by pulling this up. Maybe I can. Can I pull this up? Oh, here you go. Here you go, perfect. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys hear this? Can you hear that? Check this out. So this is what I was talking about. Vinyl crackle. Okay? Right? That was literally made from popping. Yeah? You see what I'm saying? Look at this. If you want this loot, if you want this pack, join my Patreon. It's on there right now. And check this out. This was really cool. I taught myself how to make those sci-fi impacts. Check this out. This was cool. You like that? You like that? Yeah. So this was made just organically. Yeah. Let's do one more. That's some Supermassive on that one. Oh, you like that? You like that? And then one more. And that, okay, so that, see, hear that sample right there? That's some guy like moaning and screaming in pain. And it's like I stretched it out. Listen. Let's listen to it one more time. That's an agony moan or some crap I got off the off the internet. Again, vinyl crackle, distortion. All right, anyway. All right, you guys get the point, okay? I'm glad that worked out because it was the last thing I listened to on Resonic and it just came right up. Perfect. All right. back to the lesson. All right. So you guys understand this now. Like, the more you explore, the more results you're gonna find in just like doing organic stuff, and it's gonna really add a whole nother possibility. It's gonna add a whole nother level to all of your, you know, everything that you're doing. All right. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about today is maximizing playability to get better results. There are several ways you can take your patches to the next level just by using a few subtle and sensible parameters on any synth. Now, some of you, this goes without saying, but you really have to implement this in every single patch if you want your, because what it's gonna do is if you put the playability stuff in your patches, it's gonna take your music to the next level because it's so playable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be performing with it, and then that performance is gonna come out inside of the patch. Velocity, aftertouch, creative module assignments, note range, bias, vibrato, subtle pitch bend, a randomness. There's just a few different ways that you can accomplish getting your synths to feel organic and full of life, okay? So, velocity, for example. Velocity just doesn't have to be volume. Velocity can be wavetable position. Velocity can be synth shape. It can be synth timbre. It could be whatever you want. It could be reverb level. It could be filter position. That's bias. You could be, you know what I'm saying? And that's just you pressing down the keys or you punching in a sequence or whatever. And that sequence can be full of, like, if you get something that's really high, if you put like a random sequence through something, and if the velocity is actually you're actually told the velocity to say, hey, on a high note, on a really, really high note, do something super weird. Right? And then it's gonna do that every time it approaches that level, okay? I know, it wasn't that long ago, we were at 2K. Bro, I wanna see 25 by the end of the year. Actually, no, my goal is 10K by the end of the year, but come on, like, YouTube just pushed my shit. Let's go. No, it's all right. I'm really, what I'm trying to do here, Sleep Twitch, is we're building a community around this channel, and so I love the fact that you guys trust me and respect me, so we can all just, like, you know, it's all about trust between the content creator and the audience. That's what I'm really looking for. So, you know, good quality content creates a good quality audience. You see this all the time on TikTok when people just blow up and they don't have backing to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm one who believes that you should really, like, organically put yourself, like, you know, into the mix with good, solid foundations. Okay? So thank you guys all for being here. That's what I truly appreciate, is everyone's here because they know that this is gonna be the good stuff. All right, so velocity, like I said, can do something really strange, and it's just velocity. That's all we're talking about. One of my favorite ways one of my favorite parameters has got to be aftertouch, because I use aftertouch all the time. I use it on the Hydra, I use it over here. Aftertouch is, like, really fun. You can do aftertouch with filter, yes. You can do aftertouch with wavetable position. You can do aftertouch with the fucking chorus level. You can do aftertouch with, I don't know, like vibrato level, or you can do aftertouch with just some crazy, like, when it, you know, when you really lay in. So when you go to, like, create some sort of ambient droney thing, if you're really pressing in or whatever, and you're performing that, it's gonna come out, all right? But if you implement that into your patches, if you're looking to become a sound designer, or you're looking to just, like, take it to the next level, put that stuff in there. It doesn't take much. You just have to be creative about it. You just gotta think about it. Okay, note range. Note range means where am I on the keyboard? If it does something low, maybe the filter closes. If it does something high, maybe the filter opens. That's the basic use of it. But, like, all around, you know, like, really putting that stuff in there. Subtle pitch bend movements, yeah. Randomness, okay? Maximize your mod matrix, okay? This is my first point. Don't leave any stone unturned when it comes to macro assignments. So when you have these macros, use them. So either if you're making it for someone else, they can find new tones. If you're making it for yourself, so you can kind of explore different options, right? And like I said, it doesn't take much. It's just like in Vital, it's just like boom, 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 boom. But on the Hydra, you gotta, like, go boom, boom and do this. And then maybe in Serum, it's like boom, boom, boom. You just, you know, set it up so you can actually find something new, or you can actually play the same preset in 2 different tracks, but it's gonna sound completely different, right? especially the mod wheel too. The mod wheel is another great way to be like, oh, mod wheel, modulation wheel, modify wheel, right? It's like mod wheel. You know what I mean? Mod your patches, take it to the next level, okay? Because that's gonna take your music to the next level. Whether you're creating something super simple or you're creating something that has a lot of different layers to it. Like Dash's music is like crazy, like, oh, it's just got so much going on, but at the same time, the core foundation is like solid, basic. Sawtooths, filters, that's it, sequences, you know what I'm saying? And then you build from there, and you go from there, and then you get crazy with the delays, you get crazy with the verbs, and you get crazy with everything else, and you're just like, in the filtering and the movement, and you're like, whoa. You're building a spherical audio. 360 degrees, all right? I trust this goes in good faith, like you guys understand what I'm talking about, okay? So, don't leave any stone unturned when it comes to the macro assignments. Learn your mod matrix, okay? Really maximize these synthesizers so they feel like instruments that are full of life. They're organic, they are full of potential. Getting so excited here. All right. The last thing I'll say, final thoughts. Doing this is often the most difficult path, okay? Designing sounds from scratch is often the most difficult path. That said, if you really dial in the sound that you're looking for, or successfully recreate it from an existing patch using the same techniques, I can't emphasize this enough. If you like a patch, if you like one of Echo Season's patches, if you like one of Lagos patches, or Luftrum's patches, or whatever, copy it, paste it to the user folder, reconstruct it. Make it your own. Figure out how he did it. That's not gonna be your patch, but at least you're gonna have a template to say, how did he get this to sound like this? Why is this LFO moving to this parameter? Why is this assignment here? Everything about that patch can be broken down, and it's almost like you're reinventing the wheel, but you're doing it in your own way. You know what I'm saying? I think this goes for a lot of different, you know, like it's cross genre, it's cross, you know, whatever. Like whatever you're doing, if you can reconstruct something from scratch, it's a learning opportunity, okay? So try to recreate those patches using the same exact techniques and you reach your goal in no time, okay? I have a bunch of free presets you can download. You can join my Patreon. I got a bunch of presets on there. There's presets everywhere. You got presets that come with any synthesizer, all right? Learn how to recreate them to really maximize that. Learn how to use a compressor. Okay? Learn how to really utilize gain staging in your mix. Because when it comes down to it, you gotta make sure that everything is hit properly, moving towards the end. That's why I use the utility template. That's why I use this utility template the best that I can, because it makes sense to me, it works, and it's a sound technique. Utilizing a utility, you can see it down here, utilizing this production channel strip curve right here, okay, to further shape my sound, and then that goes into a bus, and that bus is over here, okay, you can see it with another channel strip curve in here, all right, you see that, all right, it's got a chain, it's got another compressor, a glue right here set to -18 threshold, and finally off to the master fader where I have a limiter at the end, okay? Well, the little thing came up on the end, but you get the idea, right? It's called utility. It's for Ableton Live. We sell it on Material Soundset, so material.bandcamp.com, all right? That's why I use it though, because it works. It's a workflow that allows for proper gain staging. Yes, I think Ambient could really benefit from a compressor. It's not like all Ambient has to be floaty and airy. I think to get really good levels, you should use a compressor to get really good maximized sound. Like, you know, because like if I open up a track and the sound levels are like way down there, I'm like, did they not think about this? gain stage? Did they not think about the levels before they reach the master fader? You know what I'm saying? It should be good and healthy. We're dealing with the art of harmonic and frequency. So your harmonics should jump out. They should be like exciting. You know what I'm saying? And this is a process of refinement. It takes a lot of time. Oh, I like it right in the middle there. It takes a lot of time to really refine your sound. But with time, with effort, with honest integrity, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. I love doing this. This is so great. As a reminder, if you enjoyed today, join me on Patreon. That's all you gotta do. It's a great way to support me. It's a great way to support this channel. And keeps it moving. You know what I mean? Let me see what you guys are saying. You never used one for this genre. Well, it might be time. I mean, hey, listen. Thank you guys for all the positive energy. Yeah, I know. Sleep Twitch. It's crazy. It's a slow moving boat, but you know, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Oh my goodness. Listen. Hey. My channel, my label, everything, it's an open door, right? You guys can walk through it, right? So I'm here to support you guys in your own personal journeys. I'm here to teach you and help you learn and help you grow and become the best possible music producers that you can be. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to be crazy difficult. So if you spend the time and listen, now I want you to just kind of set this out in your calendar. Between now and April, this is the best stuff, energy-wise. So use this time period right now to move forward on the things that you want to move forward with. I'm just telling you this. I'm not gonna get all, you know, whatever. This is an ambient music production channel. I'm just telling you right now, use this time. Okay? From now to April, whatever you want to do in 2022, this is the best you got. This is the best energy you got. Okay? So use it. Straight up. Martin Goldman, you are very welcome. Thank you, man. Yeah, keep things simple. Start with an oscillator. Use real-world samples. If you're looking for something else, stretch those out. They can be made into pads if you use the proper sampler or granulator. And maximize your playability to get better results. With those 3 tips, combined with good, solid mixing techniques, good, solid, fundamental sound design choices, that's what's going to create the sound that you're looking for. I don't care what genre it is. I don't care what sub-genre of ambient you're looking to make. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, learn to use it. Now, the one thing I did not mention was using a frequency spectrum analyzer on all of your patches, okay? That's separate from the oscilloscope on your synth. Use a frequency spectrum analyzer while you are designing the sounds, so you can see the overall shape of the sound and how it's going to affect every other element in your mix. Bonus tip, all right? Span is free. Melda's frequency thing is free. Whatever it is, use an EQ and just look at it. You know what I'm saying? Use a flat EQ and just look at it. That's all you got to do. Using the right tools, because you're a sound sculptor, you're a sound shaper, can really push you forward. You can get miles on that. All right? I'm doing it now. I'm really conscious of it. You should be too, because at the end of the day, when your track finally gets to the end of the result, when you finally have a final mix, that frequency slope should be perfect. Listen, you'd love a science book with a masterclass. Listen, I'm going to do a masterclass once we reach a certain level on Patreon. So if you want to see me get there, then if you guys all join Patreon, then I'm gonna make a masterclass. It's right there on the thing. What are my ambient goals? What are my goals with this Patreon? If I reach a certain level, I'm gonna do it. And that's what we're doing. Week by week, all right? We're getting there. We're getting there. So anyway, I'll keep this one short and sweet again. I like concise, good quality streams. So like I said, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It means a lot to have you guys trust me. And I'm honored to do it. It's like, it's my calling. If you want to support me and support this channel, join my Patreon. If you can't afford the Patreon right now, just smash the like button. That's all you gotta do. You know, whatever you guys are thinking. Go check out my new album though. I really would love you guys to go check out my new record. It's a wonderful, wonderful trip into my world of sound design, into my own personal take on ambient music, and yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. Anyway, hopefully you guys are all doing well. Push yourselves, and yeah, never stop learning. Because if you focus on the fundamentals, if you focus on what you're doing with pure intent, heart, mind, and soul, you're gonna take yourself farther than you ever been before. My name is Chris from Signs of Life. As always, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.